Hey guys, it's been a while. No, I have not been away on vacation. I've actually been working on the Third Reich Luger's book, and we're almost done. Now, we haven't had a video in a while, but you're going to get hit with a flurry of videos once the book comes out, because Randy and I have been busy making a video for every chapter of the book. So when you read a chapter, you watch the video. Anyway, I think you're really going to like it, but that's kept me busy. In the meantime, I did have a walk-in Wednesday. Also, this is a quickie. Also, this is a vet bringback story. So a little bit of everything today, but quickly wanted to show you this gun, P.38, which was a vet bringback. First, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the gun, and then I'm going to read you the story about the vet who brought it back. Now, the good stuff doesn't stop there, because at the end, stay tuned all the way to the end. That's called a teaser, by the way. Stay to the end. I've got some things to give away, and all you have to do is say, I like free stuff, and tell us what you're interested in, and we will do a drawing to see who are the lucky winners. So, let's get started. This is the P.38 that Clayton Mason, we're going to hear a little bit more of his story. Clayton Mason was in the US Air Corps. Later, he stayed in during the Korean War in the US Air Force. This is obviously a P.38 CYQ, which means it came from the Spreewerk factory in Czechoslovakia. Here's an interesting factory error. Notice that the C is backwards. Here the C is facing the right direction. That's an Eagle 88, which is the proof mark for the inspectors at the Spreewerk factory. And the C block, that one, of course, being backwards. This is early 1943. These are also Spreewerk grips, and one way you can tell is you count the number of broken lines. This is a little bit of minutia, but that's why you watch this channel. If I look at the broken lines, I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 broken lines, and Spreewerk grips, this reddish color, Spreewerk grips had 5 broken lines, and Mauser and Walther had 6 broken lines. It's not necessarily wrong if it has the wrong grips. Sometimes they would run low on grips, and so Spreewerk or one of the other factories would order grips from one of the other factories. We see that the same thing happened with Lugers, by the way. If you remember, in 1940, Mauser was running low on grips and ordered some from Krieghoff. So we can find the orders where they'd say, hey guys, I'm running out of grips. Can you guys send over a couple thousand pair? But generally, Spreewerk grips go on the Spreewerk gun, 5 broken lines. The other place that it's numbered you want to check is the barrel is numbered under here. And finally, the last place you can look for matching numbers is the locking block, and I'll do that really quickly. Okay, off camera, I quickly took off that slide. There's the pin. Notice this is blued, Randy. I'm talking to Randy, my cameraman, because when we write descriptions, this is often in the white. But in this one, we know it was brought back by the vet, never messed with, and that is blued. So sometimes I guess they reuse these. They were blued. Mostly they're in the white. The locking block is almost all, well, it should be in the white unless the gun has been re-blued. And here you can see it's the last 3 digits of the serial number with the C. So they only use the last 3 digits on the locking block. You will also see a firing proof here and some other proof marks. This is not the serial number of the gun, but you do see proof marks on the barrel and on the locking block. And we'll check out the bore. And actually, this is shiny and clean. Clayton, evidently, when he brought it home, did not fire this very much because, as I said, it's shiny and clean. But when we look at the condition of the gun compared to the bore, this is pretty well used. Now, when we get to the capture story, we're going to find out that this was captured right after the Battle of the Bulge in December of 1944. So this soldier picked up this gun in 1943. He carried it outside in the snow, in the rain, in the mud. He probably didn't shoot it a whole lot, but you can see it's pretty worn. Almost no finish on the front strap under here. So it's pretty beat up, but as I said, the barrel itself, it looks like he didn't shoot it a whole lot, probably used his rifle more. And the same is true for the holster. This is really dulled down, which tells me usually it has like a lacquer, black lacquer on it that makes it a kind of a shiny. This is dulled down. Probably it was wet. It gets wet, soggy. You wipe it down. You'll also notice this is broken. It's pretty obvious that's broken. And the pull-up strap is broken. So this, again, was heavily used. When we hear the story, we'll find out that when Clayton captured this, he brought it home and never really used it. So I'm sure he probably brought it home in this broken condition. It does come with a spare magazine, which is correct for Spreewerk. It is not marked here, but we do see a very tiny Eagle 88, which is the proof mark for Spreewerk. And then the magazine that was actually in the gun, we can see that this one is proofed here. I can't see the 88, but it is JVD, which was a sub-factory of Spreewerk. They made the magazines close by for Spreewerk. You also see the U, which means this was made pretty late in '44, most likely. So this was probably added later. This was probably the magazine that was issued with the gun in 1943. Going back to the holster, talked about what was wrong with the holster, but here's what's right about the holster. It does have a Waffen stamp. It was accepted into the military. And here, this is the Albert Kind factory. That's their logo. It's called the bearskin logo, and there's actually an oak leaf in the middle, very faint, but it's bearskin with an oak leaf logo, and under here it says 1943. So this very well could have been the holster that was issued with the gun. Now let's find out a little bit about how this gun was captured. And it wasn't from a dead SS officer. This gun and this write-up came to us from Carl Decker, and let me just say kudos to Carl because he's preserved the history. I wish every collector had done this. What he did is he did a historical background check. He also got written documentation about how the gun was captured, about the vet who brought it back, Clayton. He ended up being a major by the time he was in Korea. Again, U.S. Army Air Corps and then later the Air Force. He enlisted, this is Clayton, not Carl. Carl is the one that gathered this information. It makes my job so much easier not to have to go back and find all this. Plus, the vets by now have usually passed away. But Carl, considered himself a military historian, went and tracked all this down. So again, I can't tell you how helpful this is. And when you buy a piece of history like this, isn't it great to have all this outlined? We can see that his date of enlistment was soon after Pearl Harbor. So January of '41, evidently, he he sat and watched in horror as Pearl Harbor took place, and then very quickly went down and enlisted into the Army. He graduated from officers training school as a second lieutenant in June of '42. Those of you who have been in the military, you know when you first enlist, they say, what do you want to be? And they want to be a general. But what they do is they give you a series of tests, mostly intelligence tests and critical thinking, flexibility, ability to make decisions, etc. And they pick candidates from that testing for the officer training school. So this tells me he came in as a private. They saw something they liked in his testing and his character, and so they sent him off to officer training school. And then, of course, by the time he graduated, he was second lieutenant. I believe everybody comes out of officer training school as a second lieutenant. He then stayed in the military throughout the Korean War. He received 11 air medals. You can see them listed here. The Africa campaign, the European campaign, National Defense Service, Korean Service, and Longevity Award. I guess that's just for being in the Air Force for so long. And then, of course, United Nations, because they were the ones that technically they conducted the war in Korea, when, in fact, I know he served in the U.S. Air Force. There is Clayton's signature, and he was from Tampa, Florida, a place that I have been many, many times. Really enjoy my time in Florida, mostly Clearwater Beach, and he would know that well, know that area well. Now, let me tell you the story that Carl Decker was able to glean from Major Clayton Mason. So he tells a little bit about actually the gun was made at Spreewerk factory. I've already mentioned that. It bears the code CYQ. And it also has the Waffen stamps 88, which was the inspector stamp from the Spreewerk factory. He mentions the holster being the Albrecht kind factory made in Berlin, Nuremberg during 1943. I first met Clay Mason in January of 1972 when he first joined the Dunedin Police Department, right outside of Tampa, by the way. I met him at the Tampa Police Pistol Range in Tampa, Florida. He was a deputy at the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office at the time. We became good friends over the next 20 years. In September of '86, he decided to sell me his prized war trophy, his P.38, for my collection. So evidently Carl was a collector of World War II handguns, just like many of us. He was kind enough to fill in one of my collection forms and give me a photo of him with his pilot's flying gear next to his beloved B-26 bomber. You can see that here. Clayton relayed to me how he acquired his pistol. During the Battle of the Bulge campaign in the Ardennes in December of 1944, he was flying food and ammo to our troops within a half-mile of the actual front lines. This was on another day. He and his co-pilot took a Jeep and drove to the front looking to get a souvenir. Find that kind of funny. Hey, got a day off? Let's go up to the front and see if we can find a souvenir. They saw a group of German prisoners being stripped of their weapons. They asked the guard, hey, can we each get a pistol? Yeah, I can just see him drive up. Hey, you got a pistol? He told them, go ahead and grab something, and Clayton grabbed this P.38 and the holster to go with it. They have remained in his possession until he sold it to me in 1986. This grouping consists of the pistol, the holster, and an extra magazine. I also got a signed collection form and photograph of Clay in his uniform next to his beloved B-26 bomber. And by the way, he also flew the B-26 in Korea as well. Clayton, thank you for your service to our country in 2 wars, and also Carl for your diligence in collecting military history and passing it on to the next generation. It makes all of our jobs a little bit easier. Now, I have some giveaways. You like free stuff, just let us know what you're interested in and we will send it out to you. Let's get started. First we have, it's got to be a good old US made holster. This came with a 1903 hammerless. But it also looks like it might fit a revolver, but this is, if you like free stuff, this is available. Next, I have this end cap. You know, do you recognize this? If you know sniper rifles, it's actually a spotter scope. I think it's called the ZF-42. This is the end piece, which would be the sun shield. Right now, I don't have the scope to go with it, so I'll give that away. Otherwise, I'm liable to lose it. This is actually pretty interesting. Those of you who know, this is a training rifle, I believe a .22 caliber training rifle. That goes onto the end of the muzzle, and it's a muzzle cover for a .22 caliber Mauser or other kind of training rifle. I think these sell for about 150 bucks, but we're giving it away for free. Now, I have to be a little gentle here, but I have 2 sets of Sauer grips. These are cracked pretty badly. You can see they're dirty. They are original, dirty on inside and out. Actually, this one's not too bad, but this first set we'll give away. These came together. Again, Sauer 38H. And then the second one is broke even worse. It was broke and then somebody just glued it, not very well. But if you're good, handy, you can probably repair that better. This one is also cracked and broken. So this set is completely broken, both of them. And we'll give away this for free, and we'll give away this for free. Okay, this is not a World War II relic, but this is old in that this is the Legacy jigsaw puzzle that we gave away last Christmas. I have a few left over. If you would like one, I'll send it out for free, because nobody wants a re-gift for next Christmas. Next, I have only 1 copy left of the History of Firearms. We've given away a few of these. And I have one more, Peter Kuntz, and it's the History of Firearms. This is basically antiques. It really does not go into modern guns or any World War II items. It stops, I think, well, it says right here, at 1900, so 1200 to 1900 AD. And then I have this Walther box. This is original, Walther PP. It's pre-war actually, but it is beat up pretty bad. Now again, somebody handy might be able to semi-restore. Somebody put tape on it, and when you pull the tape off, it kind of hurts it. If you open it up inside, this is all, the outside has all been taped, and you can see the lid. It's got the yellow interior, but again, it's been taped. So we'll give away this for free if that's something you're interested in. Just let us know. I like free stuff, and you're interested in this box. Okay, I had to save the best for last because we did a whole video on these relics that were dug up in battlefields, maybe the Ardennes. But actually these were dug up from Eastern European battlefields, so mostly Ukraine, Lithuania, Poland, and they are completely rusted. I had to save them for last because once I'm done this, I have to throw away my gloves. Now I'll have a couple sets of just Luger parts. If you're interested, let us know you like the relics. I do have extra grips that were dug up. These are all pretty beat up, not really usable. I do have a Luger. Now my pants are going to get dirty. I have a Luger here that was dug up, and we can send that out. Makes a nice display piece. That's all original finish, by the way. Never been reblued, but we would give that away. And then finally I have this snail drum, again, relic that was dug up in Eastern Europe, and we're going to give that away. And so if you're interested, let us know, and I'll get some of this off of the floor of my room. Hey, thanks for watching. I feel like Mike Rowe with Dirty Jobs. Stay tuned. We have a lot of videos coming out soon on Third Reich Lugers. I hope you liked today's tribute to one of our vets.